You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get the last word.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich. Alongside me, as always, my co-host, Runz.
And you can't teach that.
Yeah, speaking of teaching, this is a special episode solely because we are off and we have extra time. So we actually both were in attendance this weekend at St. Pat's in Brooklyn for the WrestlePro show. So we have actually some exclusive interviews that we got with Kevin Matthews, the Abominable CPA, as well as the Revolting Blob. Those will be following our kind of breakdown of the show. So, well, first of all, this time we got there and the parking was much easier. So I think I was in a better mood walking into St. Pat's as opposed to the last time we were there. What did you think about the setup itself? Like just even the way they had the ring and the lighting and the audio and everything?
The ring seemed really small, but other than that, the lighting was also really annoying in everyone's face the entire time. But the tarped entranceway was like, okay, whatever. But the Titantron at least was there, so that was cool. See the videos and stuff like that. Definitely helped you get a background on some of these people who I didn't know most of. You know?
Yeah, actually, later in the show, during one of the interviews I talked to CPA about some of the promos, some of his promo video, but because a lot of them were very specific to the wrestler. They weren't just like generic, weird, floating things in the background. They were like videos of the guy doing something.
Yes.
Like there was the trio that came out, the aesthetic males, and they had like a whole music video in the background. So I definitely added to it, kind of hyped them up a little bit more. I kind of hate the speakers of that place though. Just the PA system in the actual place is just a little weak for my taste.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest, but the like we said, the Tron definitely helped to distract from that a little bit because you could see the names of the people there, or you could see, the videos of the guys dancing and clapping or, stapling, whatever the case may be, to give you that, like, oh, okay, that's what this guy's about.
All right. So they actually started the night with the tag team championships. It was a big deal.
Even though they didn't have the tag team championships. Yeah,
the titles were definitely missing. Was kind of took away a little bit from it. But
strange. Also a strange opener for me. Like I guess those guys, the Taboo crew, were supposed to be like bring the energy, but I guess people not knowing them, they didn't really bring the energy. Like I would have started it with Neeson and Delroy Alexander because that was a little bit more fast paced and would have got the crowd going a little bit more instead of a kind of a dud tag team match.
I think the money gun is a big part of it too.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think they were supposed to bring that energy, but it just kind of fell flat.
Oh, but Gino Gotts, the manager,
he was pretty entertaining. Yes.
You know what I love about that guy? So he didn't speak so loudly, right? I feel like there were at most times 10 people in the earshot of the stuff he was saying.
Yeah, like he wasn't screaming it to put himself over.
And I was like talking to my wife about the difference between sitting at these events front row or general admission, right? Because it's almost like you can sit in the bleachers and almost get a little bit of better view. And I was like, yeah, but then you wouldn't hear things like Gino Gotts, who only like 10 people around him can hear him, but he's just in character the whole time. And I just thought that was
you also don't get the building and one time with one of the heavenly bodies where they literally just spoke to me. So like you also don't get that like while this guy is performing, he is interacting with what I'm saying. So that is also a cooler element of sitting in the front row, especially, I mean, like, if it's $20 or $25 and I'm going to this show, I'm not going to sit in the back.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point?
It was good. I mean, the money gun was fun with the they went the extra mile with the money actually having like Craig Steele's picture on it.
I still have that in my wallet.
I was very upset that I didn't get it.
Oh, I was fake hyped, but I was really trying to grab one.
Oh no, yeah.
Same
here. I just wanted to. Really
I sold it for him, which might have come off a little ridiculous if anyone was watching and not knowing that I wasn't being serious. But it's all right. In the end result, I got one, and that was it.
The best part is that I'm probably the only person who thought you weren't being serious.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because that's the general crowd there. But just what it is.
All right, well, so then after that opener, the second match was the match between Deonna Purrazzo
got
and
the
Chelsea
win,
Green.
right?
Oh yeah, they kept the titles, which they didn't have, so it was a little confusing to us.
Yes, not going there for the first time, seeing WrestlePro and not knowing who the champions were. I legitimately didn't know until they won, and then they said like still or whatever. I was like, oh, okay.
I've seen Team España before.
So you knew
Jose.
Yeah, I mean
Jose and Hoseby.
Yes.
Hoseby, that's awesome. They have some funny spots. They really kind of work on that soccer gimmick they've got going. They come out in full.
They were pretty funny. Not Barcelona, just Spain.
Yeah, just the away. So,
I wish they would have been a little more interactive with the soccer ball throughout. Just set them up in the corner and kick it into their legs, or kick it into their chest. Do something with it, that makes a reason for bringing it out and wearing these jerseys.
Yeah, like at the I saw them at the FSW show in the Lions Den match, and during this was Battle Royal, during the match, they both came in and they had the soccer ball and they were like passing it back and forth in the ring. But like they'd wind up like they were really going to hit it hard and then just like tap it like across, and then they both backed up into like big guys. So it was like a great piece that they used.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to do that every single time you wrestle, but
yeah,
it would have been cool for me to see it for the first time, but maybe next time.
All right, and then we have two WWE kind of
WWE
adjacent, yeah. That's definitely the word to use. I don't want to bite off other shows. But you had Chelsea Green, who came out with a new look. I haven't seen her with the dark hair. I've only seen her with blonde hair. She was on Tough Enough. And then
didn't she have blonde hair? Pretty sure she had blonde hair.
No. That night she had brown hair.
If you say so. Pretty sure she had blonde hair. But anyway, continue. Deonna Purrazzo had
she had dark hair, yeah. And she's been on NXT, she's been on TNA, she's been on Ring of Honor, the Women of Honor cards. So, I mean, I thought this was a really good match. It's weird when the crowd literally doesn't cheer when they're supposed to. Like at all. Not booing the bad guy, not cheering the face, like just watching. It felt like a Japanese crowd almost.
Definitely some blonde hair going on there.
Really? I'm wrong here?
So, yeah, I agree that technically it was an okay match, but neither one of them did anything to involve the crowd. There was no real drama in the match. It was kind of just, oh, a headlock here, a headlock there. Oh, then they reversed the roles. So there was no real person in peril or anything like that. And without that element and without either one of them trying to really get the crowd involved, like at least Anthony Nese was like, "Come on, like let's go." He was screaming. He was trying, and people just weren't reacting. And that element of it is an element that makes me not want to go, because it's an element that ruins the show. That I can't be as involved as I would like to be, because the only people that are involved are people that are annoying me and saying stupid things. So like, without everyone cheering, it's hard for me to cheer or boo or react the ways that I need to at a wrestling show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It like, the dead crowd ruins the experience of wrestling. Like, that's not the point of wrestling. Is to go and be loud and have fun, and not that watching wrestling is not enjoyable, but like, when it's silent, it's just like, what the hell is going on? Nobody cares about these people. Like, ugh, this is just bad.
I didn't even felt like, I'm trying to think of another time, because I was clapping. I was trying to and it was so crazy. The silence was so deafening that when I was yelling, I felt like somehow the silence was covering up my screams. Like it somehow quieted me down. Like
I had to like sarcastically say things, because otherwise I would have been too loud. Like when one of the heavenly bodies, when one of their guys was getting beat up, I was like, just go back, just go. Like, but I was saying it like I had no voice or something, because I didn't want to scream it. I was like, oh, just go to the back, forget them, leave them. But I wasn't talking normally, so it's strange,
So Chelsea.
They tried. They just need to involve the audience more.
Yeah, but I mean, they even went for a rest hold, which I was waiting for them to do. And they could have milked the rest hold a little bit more to get some.
But see, that's the thing. I don't think they need to be doing rest holds. You're wrestling for 4 minutes. Why do you need to do rest holds? Just speed it up and give this crowd a reason to care. Like, you're doing rest holds like you're wrestling on Monday Night Raw. You're not. Just do the drop kicks, do some clotheslines, have some back and forth reversals, and go from there. You don't need a headlock for 3 minutes and then to switch roles and do it again.
Yeah. All right. True.
That was my only thing.
I like the next match.
However, I will say this: this is the first time ever that I've been in the front row for a women's match, because ROH, the other FSW, there were no women wrestling. So it was cool to see women wrestling up that close, and two people that I've seen on WWE television in one way or another. So it was cool to see that, and I just felt bad that it was a horrible atmosphere.
Yeah. It doesn't bode well for them to have they should have another match. Then they're good, but it just, the way that crowd reacted that night was just kind of dead.
That crowd was just bad.
And it's weird because when we you weren't at the show, but there was an FSW show where they had Sume Sakai and this other Japanese female wrestler, Kyoko or something. And they were good, and the crowd got into it to a certain degree, it wasn't raucous, but I mean, people were into it. So, but Statwife jumped in and said that there was definitely more physicality in the match with Sumi Sakai.
There you go. So just eliminate those headlocks and chin locks and whatever, and keep up the pace, and then we'll be fine. You'll give the crowd reasons to cheer or get behind you because they're excited. They're not sitting there waiting You know, okay. Oh, is this girl that I don't know going to get out of this hold? Who's the face? Who's the heel? What's going on? There was none of that. They just came out there, had a cold match, and that doesn't bode well.
No.
You know, like if one of them would have came out like, "Oh, F you, I'm the best," then you would have been like, "Oh, okay, I don't like this girl," and then you could have gone. But it was just like, "Hey, it's me. Oh, hey, it's me too. What's up? Hey, you want to have a match? Okay, yeah, woo."
Yeah, acting like a jerk would have been.
Exactly. They have to give people a reason. So that's the biggest thing I can say is go out there and whether somebody tells you to be the heel or the face or not, like one of you has to figure that out. One of you has to play some type of role in the match.
Well said. I thought the next match, the two guys both made you care. I really liked it. Chris Payne, he was the cop who had the came out the nightstick versus the Croatian sensation Mario Baccara.
Yes, I really don't like that guy, but
Baccara?
Yes, I enjoyed Chris Payne's work. Baccara looks, he's in good shape. The suplex stuff is cool, so it's interesting to. That was a good matchup, but I don't know why. I just really don't like Baccara.
It's funny because he's part of Snot and FSW. He's healed there.
Maybe it's just the over the top Croatian thing.
It reminds you of what's his name? Wolf. He actually had that really kind of impressive 5 consecutive German suplexes, which I thought showed a lot of strength, and just kind of stamina, really kind of pull it off and hold on to it. And then I thought Chris Payne really came off like a real jerk.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone was cheering for him like crazy because he's from the area. Then, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just gonna agree with you. He was definitely one of the more involved with the crowd performers of the night, but that was definitely an entertaining match.
Yeah, and then the end where Ed Jackson, his Payne's manager, distracts the referee, and this is, the referee adds to it to me also by just being so. It's so ridiculous that he was able to miss it.
Well, it was a classic, well executed.
Yeah.
Just talk to the referee, flip it behind his back. That was just good.
But it's great that the referee wouldn't see it being flipped. That's part of what I really love about it. Just the idea that there's just no peripheral vision at all.
Who knows, man? Baccara was standing next to him too. Who knows?
So Payne gets it and then hits Baccara in the stomach, the breadbasket, and kind of walked away with a victory on that one. So I thought it was a good way to keep him going as a heel, even if he was a favorite there. You keep Baccara looking strong because it took outside interference and a weapon to beat him. So I thought it was a really good match. I thought the crowd kind of woke up again for this, so that it continued through the rest of the card, I felt. Then you had the 6-man tag, which I really liked. The aesthetic males. You have Beefcake Charlie, Damian Gibbs, and Mike Del Rey. They took on Bobby Wayward, Nikos Ricos, and the Golden Boy.
Yeah, that was definitely some entertaining stuff. Those guys were pretty hilarious. So, very entertaining. Good 6-man. They clapped a little bit too much, but that was okay.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of clapping. They were wearing light blue. But the big guy, Beefcake Charlie, he had 2 moonsaults off the second rope. That was pretty impressive.
Moonsault, yeah.
And just their their theme song is a parody of the WCW American Males. they have like a video. Like I had actually seen this online somewhere where they just like have the whole song going and they're like in the background. So they just played that, which it was hilarious. It kind of got me into it. And the opposing team, that I think like Nikos can draw heat just because of his ridiculous outfit.
Yeah.
It's very like, it's kind of like Zack Ryder, except now instead of when Zack Ryder had the one leg, but added to it, like he's got the Andre the Giant top of the singlet, one strap. So he looks ridiculous, you know. And I think as good as the face trio was, I thought that these guys did a good job of kind of being like that.
Yeah, I mean, like it was just like it was just an egotistical Greek guy. So like, you know, people aren't gonna like that. Then an egotistical pretty boy, chosen one. So you know, just perfect heel. You know, easy. Like it's like heel ABCs. You know.
Yeah.
The beginner heels. This is how you start out. You know, you're just an egotistical. And you get over that way, but you know, so they were definitely entertaining. I didn't like any of them, so it gave me a reason to cheer against them too. So it worked out well.
And then your next was your favorite match of the night, the Delroy Alexander versus Anthony Nese.
Yeah, I mean, I wish again the crowd would have been a little more into it, but I enjoyed seeing Tony Nese. Like he's a guy that I've watched on some Evolve shows, or you know, some of those other little smaller independents that I've watched randomly on iPay-per-view. So it was cool to see him, and he definitely was the one guy who stood out all night as being the like most professional wrestler guy there, other than, you know, Matt Classic, of course. But he was in great shape. He moved like a star. You know, he really stood out above everyone else for me.
Yeah, I could see him challenging McIntosh for the, you know, kind of doing a main event feud up there.
Yeah.
You know, because he's got the skills to carry it, and I'm just interested to see his character develop. So, you know, I was actually talking to Statwife. Like, I think some of the reactions, you know, partly was this, you're in a different area, you know? Like, I mean, how well do some of these companies travel, you know? And WrestlePro, you know, kind of grew out of Pro Wrestling Syndicate, which was really wrestling out of like Rahway, New Jersey, and kind of around there more. So now they're branching out a little bit, but you know, the Rahway Center is supposed to hold like 2,000 people. You know, so this is really different from a gym that can hold like what, 250 max, 300. You know, I'd like to go see what it's like at their home base and see what the reaction is like to some of these matches that kind of maybe weren't as as effective in gaining like a lot of crowd reaction.
Yeah, and I don't think, I don't like that this is a testament to the way they travel, because this is not a testament to the way they travel. This is just not a good crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think it's a damning thing to them.
Oh, no. Well,
it was a bad night for the crowd, and so it didn't give them any reaction. You know, I don't think they would get this diminished of a reaction somewhere else.
Okay, fair.
Or, you know, and like, somebody said while we were talking to them afterwards, this was like a house show almost. You know, they didn't have a lot of their roster, and I think that part maybe hurt it a little bit, because maybe if Kurt Hawkins was there, people would have been more hyped up, because it was a name people knew. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you get a point. So, although this kind of goes well, the next match was just kind of crazy. You had Mr. Belding was announced for the show, which was a big draw for me, I won't lie. So you have the heels, the Heavenly Bodies come out, Gigolo Justin, Desirable Dustin, and they do a they do a good job of being those loathsome, kind of like gross. I mean, they remind me of, you know, the Heavenly Bodies that I remember from WWF when I was growing up. It's kind of annoying, and you want them to lose.
Yeah, somewhat, yes, but they definitely did a good job of playing those characters.
And then, as a surprise, Belden comes out and he introduces the tag team of the Bayside Tigers, which were it was Zach Morris and AC Slater, but it actually was Kevin Matthews as Morris and the owner of WrestlePro, Pat Buck, as well. So this is actually, you'll hear in the interview later, he was definitely supposed to be AC Slater because AC Slater was clearly, you know, part of the wrestling team, but his wig came off more like Screech.
Yeah, and definitely the beard didn't help because Dustin Diamond, you know, is now known for having that beard, or you know, known as having that beard.
And he was smaller than Zach. You would expect him to be,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, bigger than Zach. So, but
just came off a little Screechy because Zach and Screech were boys too. But,
yeah,
you know, I got the point. It didn't really matter who he was, and like a couple of times, like at one point in the match, like Kevin Matthews said something about like that's how he banged Kelly Kapowski, and
yeah,
it was just ridiculous, you know, like, oh man, it's good stuff.
Yeah, and then so then it kind of had a weird ending. You had this guy run out, Buster Jackson, who's kind of aligned with the Heavenly Bodies. He ends up causing the DQ, and then they kind of grab him as his two buddies roll out of the ring. And Belden calls for Zach and AC to go get the tables. So they get a table to set it up, and in a kind of homage to Shield, triple power bomb with Belden as the like Roman Reigns role, right? He's kind of
Beldo bomb.
Oh man! And he just picked him up, and they just kind of drove him right through the table. It was pretty insane to watch Mr. Belden powerbomb someone through a table. Like, I can always say that for the rest of my life. It's just,
Yeah.
it was so amazing. And it was like, it was all over the place. I mean, like, it was on CBS, like different news outlets were actually like, it was on SNY, like the Loudmouth show. So it was actually getting a lot of press, which is pretty cool. And, you know, he's a real big wrestling fan. You'll hear later Kevin Matthews kind of talks about that and how he's actually worked with him before. So then there was an intermission at this point, and then they came back, and you had a really quick match, and Johnny Clash versus Chris Avery Quelling. So I don't know if you guys are fans of the Netflix series Making a Murderer, but Chris Avery is kind of like a not so clever reference to Stephen Avery, the guy who is the focal point of the show. So he actually comes out and he's got the prisoner's uniform with the county where Stephen Avery was arrested in. And he's got like shackles on him, and he's led to the ring by kind of like a handler who has to actually, you know, unlock him from his shackles so that he can actually start the match. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed that character. It was pretty funny, you know. Like he started. Obviously, you could tell he was, you know, quote unquote crazy person and all that. But once like the match started, he wasn't really doing anything, and then the guy grabbed him by the head, and he just went nuts. And his whole thing was like, "I don't want him touching me. I don't want him touching me." So that was good. That was entertaining, and it was cool that he just squashed him, and that was it. That's exactly what it should have been. You know, he's supposed to be this monster, and it gave you a reason to be like, "Oh shit, okay, he is a monster." All right, so that was well done, and definitely one of the more entertaining elements.
the next day, Johnny Clash actually tweeted, like, why do I have to fight this freak? Like, which I think is like pretty, that's great. I mean, you get squashed, but, your reaction is like, come on, man. Why do I get so unlucky? Then I think the most hilarious match possibly of the night, the Four Corners tag match. You had
definitely the best match.
You had the Merry Men in Tights taking on Maxwell Jacob Feinstein and Joe Bronson, taking on Massage NV and the team for the one night known as Blobib. It was Habib and the Revolting Blob.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the Revolting Blob and Habib were pretty awesome. Habib was hilarious, once the match got going, and we'll get into that in a minute. But, there was a lot of homoerotic things going on in this match, and that were a little like, okay, a couple or one or two of these things is funny, but a little over the top at some points. But it was okay. Entertaining stuff. The Massage Envy does this thing where one of them is on all fours and oils up the back, oils up the other one's chest, and slides off into the other guy. So that was pretty cool. Like, I never seen that before. There was a spot then where Habib gets his spray bottle and sponge and wipes down the oil off the guys so they can't do it again. So definitely very entertaining stuff. The Blob was pinning someone, and the Massage Envy came over and started massaging him. And, we'd seen it before in the match, but everyone would just like freak out or whatever. But the Revolting Blob was like, oh no, try and get this side. All right, yeah, that's good. So that just made you laugh, and that he does a great job at playing that character.
No, yeah, I really enjoyed. I mean, I really think that this was, really was for me the most enjoyable match of the night because it was just so ridiculous. There were times where I thought that, there were times where I thought almost all the teams had a chance of really winning it. Like, there was a time where I thought the Blob looked like he was going to get the pinfall and win. I thought there was a time where the Merry Men were kind of like almost going to come fully upset and they were going to win. So I think everyone played their role really well in that match, and they were given the time to do so effectively. The crowd was really into it, even though they didn't know most of the men there in this match, I think that's a testament to the workers.
That's a testament to wrestling because all of these guys were over-the-top characters for the most part, not just, guys in trunks.
All right, and then, so, one of the draws for this was definitely that Colt Cabana was going to be at the event. And I don't think I noticed that as the event was coming up, the flyer changed, and it wasn't Colt Cabana anymore. And it was Matt Classic. So for those who don't know, so it's funny because Colt Cabana's out, was over there by merch table early in the event before the show starts, and then as the show starts, he's sitting there for a little bit, and then he's gone, and you have an announcement that Matt Classic's coming out, and I think 80% of the crowd didn't know it was him. Would you say?
What do you mean?
Do you think the crowd knew that it was Colt Cabana?
That what was Colt Cabana?
That Matt Classic was Colt Cabana.
That's not Colt Cabana. It's Matt Classic. He's a legend. I'm sure Colt Cabana just went to the back to help him prepare for his match, and then, just watched it from somewhere else that we couldn't see him at that point.
I mean, you're right. I mean, he wears very high-waisted trunks. There's probably like an extra.
Does those little knee ups, and Matt Classic is a legend, in the wrestling business.
He did those impressive back arches at the beginning, kind of like a Bray Wyatt almost thing, but just using his neck muscles.
Yeah, this is when Classic wrestled, CPA, and CPA tried to serve him with an audit, and Classic just threw it at him, and they had some funny spots.
Yeah, I mean, I love just some of the way the unconventional offense of the uncharismatic enigma CPA.
Yeah.
He's just ridiculous. I mean, from carrying all the ties, to giving him an audit, to getting angry that it was thrown out, like he went to go get it and like straightened it out, and like fixed it on his knee and handed it back.
He ripped off his tie, and then he pulled out another one. So that was entertaining. A fun match.
Yeah, he had a pretty decent little cheering section over there, right by the entranceway. And we'll actually, if you guys stay tuned, we'll hear from him later on and kind of get his thoughts on the match and a couple things overall. And then the last match was the heavyweight title fatal 4-way. Oh wait, there is the tryout match. Certified Sexy. So there are 3 members of this group, and 2 of them were there that night, and they took on Ace Maravilla and Shofaki, I think his name is. What did you think about the tryout?
It was terrible. It was just bad. A couple of the guys just don't look like they should be in a wrestling ring. There was nothing really to say about this.
All right, fair. The crowd did seem to be into it, but
yeah, I mean, the certified sexy guys are entertaining, and they have that crowd, wrapped up in whatever that wiggle crap is.
Yeah.
But there's only so many times I could see them do it, and they do it every 14 seconds. So
fair.
Plus, I don't like seeing a lot of that crowd wiggle. So.
All right, then you have the heavyweight title fatal 4-way. You had Falaba versus Anthony Bowens versus Dan Maff versus Matt McIntosh, who was the champion.
Yeah, I mean, this was entertaining. These guys definitely looked like pros and knew what they were doing in the ring. Maff is a big guy.
Ooh, yeah.
Falaba is a big guy, but very short but very wide. And, he athletic in the ring. They could all move. I think Bowens is the number 1 contender for the belt. So you had that storyline going on. And at the end, McIntosh pinned Maff, and they didn't. Yeah, McIntosh's girlfriend didn't let Bowens get back in the ring, so you had that continuation. So it was definitely good. And who came out to distract Falaba, the Jackson guy? Chris Payne.
Yeah.
So he came out. So I guess they'll be starting, their own feud, or if they don't already have one.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the match. I like the ending. I like the way it's going to kind of move stuff forward. With McIntosh and Bowens and Maff involved. I thought the ending was, it was really, you have your heel champion walk away with the belt, but you still have the fans go home happy. Where Maff had picked up. Her name is Helen Vale. McIntosh's girlfriend, / valet, and he's gonna drop her, but then he does the crowd's chanting for it, but he does the right thing because he's the face.
She needs a more Apple nickname. She can't, he's McIntosh, he's the bad apple. She's got to be something like Victoria iPod. I don't know, something.
Could have been something like with Snow White or.
Some play on it on an apple,
something,
or hopefully Macintosh, because
or just come out as an old lady called Granny Smith.
There you go.
That would be
she could be like Fanny Smith or something.
Yes. All right, this is good. Yeah, hope they're listening. But then so Mav drops her, and after McIntosh was pleading on his girlfriend's behalf, and then he just flips Math off, just hilarious. And then Math picks him up, and promptly drops him on his head. And then the fans go crazy, so it's perfect. You keep your heel champion with the belts, but you have the face go over at the end. I thought it was the perfect ending to the show.
Yeah, definitely. Sent the crowd home happy. It was a good match. It was a good couple angles involved in the match. So it gave you, like I said, it gave you a reason to care, and that's the biggest challenge for these companies, these wrestlers, is to go into these places and where the fans don't know you, where you haven't had a lot of exposure, and connect with that and find a way to get over. And that's what a lot of these guys missed. And I understand that, because some of them, it may be early on in their career. Some of them, they may be progressing down this independent road. So that's this is the learning curve. This is where you gain that experience of how to connect with these crowds and what to do in the ring to get that reaction. So hopefully working with these guys like Hawkins or Matthews, or guys that have been around and been there, it will help.
I totally agree, man. I won't lie. Like, after the end of the show, I was like, I want to go to another one at some point. I'd kind of like to, the convenience, obviously, of going near your house is a little better than having to drive. But there's part of me that wants to see them in the bigger arena. I just want to see what it's like with a different crowd.
Yeah, different crowd, different
lineup too.
Bigger roster. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. They actually have another show the next week, April 30th, this weekend, back at their home base in Rahway. So looking into results for that, and maybe we can go catch another one. But if it's in your area, I definitely suggest checking it out. It's definitely worth your money. It's a good night it's a good night out.
Yeah, definitely worth the price of admission for sure.
If you have nothing else to add, we're gonna transition to a new part of our show for this special edition. We have interviews coming up. First, we're going to hear from Kevin Matthews, who wrestled with Zach Morris with Mr. Building. And then we're also going to hear from the Abominable CPA, and we are joined by the Revolting Blob. So stay tuned and enjoy. We're here at the WrestlePro show after the show. We're here with Kevin Matthews. Thanks for joining me.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. I've always wanted to be on the show, so this is another thing off my bucket list. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
So tonight, I think you were a little out of character. Honestly, what was it like to meet Dennis Haskins?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, what was it like to be Zach Morris? To meet Dennis Haskins, if you followed your history several years ago, about 3.5 years ago, the first time Dennis Haskins ever did a pro wrestling event, it happened to be in my match with Sami Callihan. He was the guest ring enforcer, but I was actually a bad guy, a heel at that time, instead of a babyface, which I am present day. So this is the first time I actually worked with Dennis Haskins when he was on my side of the fence, or I was on his side of the fence, depending on which way you want to call it. It was awesome. Working with him is phenomenal. I was a child. I'm 33 now, so if you do the timeline, early 90s and stuff like that. So 10 years old, 9 years old. I grew up watching Saved by the Bell. So it's cool. If anyone was in attendance tonight, and while the song was playing and Belling was singing, I was singing it. I knew every word for word of that damn song. I'm a fan, so it's cool.
Were Kelly and Jesse backstage waiting for you guys?
Kelly and Jesse were backstage waiting for us, wearing little to nothing. So it's amazing. The second we walked back, they just jumped in our arms, just like the old days. But they were a little disappointed when they found out we were not Mark Paul Gosselaar and Mario Lopez. So, sorry. Or Dustin Diamond, whoever. Did you think Pat Buck was Screech or Slater?
All right, so I think half the crowd really was thinking it was Screech. Knowing my Bayside history, I knew it had to be Slater.
Of course.
But the curls were a little tight and not long enough in the back.
I hear you. Okay. And I think Slater back in the day kind of had a mullet thing going, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And maybe if he would have had the ballerina costume on from that episode where he was dancing with Jesse.
Not only that, do you know how hard it was for me to find a blonde wig? I went to a store, and they didn't have any guy wigs. I was like, give me like a Ken doll or something. They didn't have any. So what I actually had to go with was a female long blonde wig, and I used one of the female students in the back of the WrestlePro school. I literally pulled up a picture of Zach Morris. I gave her the wig, gave her a pair of scissors. I said, I don't know how you can do it, but turn that wig into that. So that's how, whatever the hell that thing was on my head, that's how that came to be.
What was it like staying on? Was it tough?
Yeah, everyone, that's seemingly the most surprising part of the match. Everyone's like, I'm surprised it stayed on. Because Pat's, he had the headgear on, but I didn't. There was one part towards the end when it started coming off, and I kind of crawled into the corner and adjusted. I was like, oh, hell no, I started this match with this. I'm going to end it with this. This ain't going nowhere.
Whose idea was it tonight to come out as Zach and Slater?
It was Pat's idea with the Bayside singlets, and he said he was going to get the wig and the headpiece, and he was going to be Slater, and then I came with the idea, it's like, I should get a blonde wig, and then I should be Zach, because that would look weird, like, you're Slater, I'm just Kevin Matthews, and I was like, I'm wearing the singlet, I was like, okay, so it was a combination of both of us. He found the singlets online on eBay for like $20, and then he called me, he's like, dude, I have an idea, you're either going to hate it or love it. I was like, dude, that's either the worst or best idea I've ever heard of. I said, absolutely. So we're in the back, we're in full gear and stuff, and I'm telling the entire locker room, I was like, guys, stop, don't mess around, don't goof around on the show, take the show serious, as I'm wearing that blonde wig, and I'm just busting balls back there, but it was fun, I think it came across funny. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. I had no idea what was coming, I just knew that Mr. Belden was going to be here, and I didn't know that you and Pat were going to come out that way, but it was pretty riotous.
Yeah, we tried to change it up. We could have just had a match just in a normal tag match. But there was a lot of tag matches on the show. There was like 3 tag matches. Yeah. I was like, we have Belding, let's do something. So, his idea, I added to it, and that was great. And then the finish, Belding put the powerbombing someone through a table shield style. Woo! Come on, baby, go viral. Let's do it.
You're also working with Fighting Spirit Wrestling, right? You just joined their
heel faction.
Yeah.
So, I'm babyface most places.
Yeah.
This is the first time I went heel. Actually, no, for Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling,
yeah.
I also work heel over there. But, and it's funny, too, because I've been doing 16 years, and for the first 14, less than that, maybe 12, I've very, very rarely been babyface. Like, when I signed to WWE for the first couple of months, they had me as babyface, and they said, you're an absolutely terrible babyface, so they made me heel because of it. So I was always heel. And then when I finally turned babyface, especially in Rahway, with this massive crowd, they start to like me and stuff like that. Selling a lot of merch over there, and I was like, I like being babyface. And then some ideas were thrown around before where a previous owner of a different company was like, we should make you heel. I was like, not happen. Never going to happen. No, I don't care if they start booing me out of the building. I'm staying babyface, because literally it's becoming a thing similar to, on a smaller scale, I don't want to say John Cena, but it's like a lot of the little kids, especially in Rahway. It's crazy that I never try to be that guy, because I was always the middle finger, like raunchy. Even as a babyface, I still do the same shtick. And it's like these little kids, a line of them coming up to my table, hugging me and stuff. I'm like, when did I become that guy? I said, so I think I would break hearts if I ever turn heel. But at this particular company where I'm a lot less known, I joined their heel faction, which is SNOT. It stands for something. If you know, then God bless me. And
I've been trying to look it up. I can't find it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't even make something up on the fly. It's an acronym for something, but I have no idea what the hell it is. But their next show is May 6th, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Lucha Extravaganza. Right?
Okay, so what's the match? Actually, it's against Joel Maximo. It's a 3-on-3, I believe. It's either 3-on-3 or 4-on-4.
I think it's a 3-on-3. I think it's you, Volcara, and I want to say...
It's not Sami Callihan.
No, Callahan's not there. And Chris Rex is wrestling another match.
So it's me, Volcara, and it's somebody else. I know that.
Maybe no, Azrael. Azrael?
Not for nothing. I've known Azrael forever. I've known Volcara forever. The three of us as an actual team, that's pretty freaking good. Those two are not slouches. So, and then Joel Maxwell I've known forever. I've never actually wrestled Joel Maxwell, and I've known him for like 16 years. So,
what's it like to go, say, wrestle as a heel one night and then go and wrestle as a face the next night? Like, do you ever almost forget halfway through the match?
I've been primarily wrestling for the same one or two companies for the last couple of years. I don't really like to chase around paydays and ask promoters for work and then they don't show up, they cancel shows. I'm so over that, and I'm content with what I'm doing, where I never had to really flip flop. It's been a long time. In the past, when I really didn't even know what I was doing, it was just, again, not many people book me as babyface. They always book me as a heel. But now it's easy. Like I do it with Jeff. I can go to Jeff's and work heel, and I love it because they don't. Iowa and all these random cities that he runs in and stuff. and cities and states where I go, and they have no idea who I am. So for me to come out first, so it's just weird when I'm close by the same area. Because to go out in like one town, come out as this big hero, and then basically go 2 miles down the road and come out and say, you guys suck, and you're seeing the same familiar face in the crowd, that kind of sucks. Like even here at this Brooklyn show, I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces that I would see over there. So if it was up to me, I would prefer to be baby across the board. But hey, unless it's far enough away from where basically my name means anything.
All right, so where you have your fan
Brooklyn to Central Jersey, and that's it.
Southern Jersey.
Maybe Philadelphia, they might know
I think
who I am.
stretch out, yeah.
And then like 1 or 2 people outside, but that's it. That's about it.
All right, well, really appreciate it. A couple minutes of your time.
I appreciate it.
And I look forward to seeing you at the next show.
You'll see me at plenty of shows.
You got a social media everyone can follow you on?
I do. Instagram and Twitter, the number 2, Cocky, COCKY, KM. So that's 2 Cocky, Kevin Matthews. That's Instagram and Twitter. Facebook. I have 5,000 friends, but you can friend request me on Facebook because I kind of have like a, what is it called, like a backup where the list just keeps compiling, and then when I see it's like at 49999, I'm like, oh, the next one makes the cut. Except, so I mean, it's a waiting list. It's almost like going to Denny's at like Saturday at 1 a.m. and they're like, well, there's gonna be a long wait and stuff, and then you're like, damn, and you realize it's like 3 hours and stuff. But in my case, it could be 3 weeks or 3 months, but. Anytime I see that 4999, lo and behold, I quickly accept.
And where can we find your merch?
At my merch table. I mean, as far as the internet goes, find me online, Twitter, Instagram. I always hawk shit. Sorry.
Totally
I always
fine.
hawk stuff.
Totally fine.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, Facebook.com/ I think it's Kevin Matthews or it's Kevin Matthews X. I don't know. Google Kevin Matthews, you'll find me.
All right.
I mean, Facebook, search me, Kevin Matthews. I'm the most famous Kevin Matthews in the world and have the most original name ever.
You heard it here first.
Yes, that's right.
Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate
Bayside Tiger, check it out.
We're sitting here with the Abominable CPA right after his big match at WrestlePro down here in Brooklyn at St. Pat's. So just want to say welcome to the show, and how you doing tonight?
Sweaty.
So I need to ask a serious question. What is your Thai budget?
It's unlimited. They all cost $10 each, and that's why I try to keep as many as humanly possible. I have 4 in my pockets at all times.
So you're a little busy right now, right? I mean, obviously during tax season, any of your clients have to ask for an extension?
Unfortunately, a lot of them, because ever since old Rush Limbaugh moved out of New York, I've had a lot of very unreliable clients. I guess they kind of follow my example because it's hard for me to get out of bed sometimes too, but at least I get my business done. Try to.
All jokes aside, I've seen you for a couple companies in the Brooklyn area. Are you like branching out to a couple different companies, going all over the place, or are you kind of focused on a couple shows here and there?
Yeah, I'm trying to get out there as much as possible. I do stuff in Brooklyn. I just plays Blitzkrieg Pro in Connecticut. I started working for them pretty regularly. They seem to like me, so hopefully they keep bringing me back. That's pretty much it right now. I'm just trying to get as much stuff out there as possible. It's hard, though, because I don't do anything cool, so.
Well, that's to be decided. When did you start doing this?
2013, June 2013.
What made you actually decide to get in the ring?
I don't know. I've always wanted to do this. I just was really lazy about just getting off the first foot, But then once I started, it was kind of a natural progression towards wanting to do it as much as humanly possible.
Do you want to continue with this gimmick? Is this like something that you're really enjoying?
Yeah, it's enjoyable. I mean, it's pretty much me, so it's not really like it. The only difference is I don't wear a pink button-down shirt every day of my life. Like, it's pretty spot on to what you're seeing right now, So. Who
shot your entrance video with you stapling? I just need to know who was sitting in the room while you were just stapling paper.
That was a promo I recorded. I had a match with Croatian sensation Mario Bocara in December 2013. And I was trying to build up strength in my left arm to kind of serve as like a a deterrence to his arm bar, so I was using my left hand and stapling really large stacks of paper, and I figured that would work. It didn't work, needless to say.
Who would you say you've worked with that was like your favorite person to be in the ring with?
Oh, jeez. I mean, I don't know. I got asked this recently, and I really don't have. I mean, I guess like probably. It's really hard. I guess my favorite match that I've been in. It's not a slight on anyone else that I've worked with because I've enjoyed working with pretty much everyone. But I had a match with Alex Reynolds at Creative Pro that I think probably stands the test of like me actually being a competent performer. Tonight was fun too, actually. Matt Classic was a lot of fun to work with. But yeah, I'd say before I'm kind of like tied now with this and Alex Reynolds.
Did you want to, by any chance, so like Matt Classic, Colt Cabana wrestled under the mask. Did you want to wrestle Colt Cabana, or did you want to wrestle Matt Classic? How did that get decided?
I don't know. That was the booking committee. I don't know.
Okay.
I was involved with a 6-way with Colt Cabana last year, and the Revolting Blob is here.
Hey, how you doing?
You look very anxious, like you don't know what to do with yourself. You do the worker handshake without the handshake part. You lean in and do the
It's well, like I said, it's not a gimmick.
So Blob just came over and joined us. What is it like?
I did a wrestle tonight.
Another principal on the card.
I'm not gonna lie. When you have the second greatest principal come to meet you and take a picture with you, it's pretty humbling because I've been the world's greatest principal since 1994. Belding had that spot before me, and it's good that we could just be friendly and coexist for an evening.
Maybe if everything works out, you guys could be the world's greatest principal tag team, and you guys can challenge House and Benjamin.
I don't see why that wouldn't happen. I mean, Pat Buck obviously has the deep pockets to get something like that done.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, as you saw by the loaded production and no cameras tonight.
Is this how you guys got the gig here? That you're the principal of this school, St. Pat's?
I'm the principal of whatever school we happen to be in that
Yeah.
month.
He's the perpetual principal.
How did you guys get out of unloading the ring and everything? You guys aren't folding chairs. You're out smoking cigarettes.
Well,
what's going on?
now you're blowing up my spot a little bit there. I normally
this question.
I'm normally like the first guy out there, but I was actually a draw tonight and brought a bunch of people, so I had to say hi to them before I did anything. Normally, I'm like the first guy out there, though. That's a shoot.
I had to set up interviews with Kevin Matthews, so
There you go.
and then say hello to the people that came to see the Blob, all two of them.
There's two there.
So that's
I'm three.
so 6.
There, you
Six.
had a block.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans.
Is that count Johnny Rods?
Oh, I tell you, when the big monster man come to the ring.
Have you guys both worked with Johnny Rods?
I actually joined Gleason's for like 2 months, but then I lost my job and I couldn't afford the gym dues every month.
By the time he started, I was long gone.
I was actually I witnessed his last match at World of
Did you?
Unpredictable Wrestling, and it's funny because can I pull back the curtain a little bit?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was L Shoes until I heard someone call him L Shoes. I was like, oh, that's just the Blob, and then I heard Kevin Matthews go, yo, Shoes. I was like, wait a second, hold the phone here. That's the L Shoes. It just blew my mind.
That technically means the shoes.
Wait, Shoes, were you with us when we took the train? I'm not sure if you were there. So we used to do. I used to be involved in backyard wrestling with Blob over here, and there was one time in high school where we took the train to Gleason's gym.
We went multiple times.
And I brought a steel chair. I'll never forget because I've never been to Brooklyn before. I get on the train with the steel chair. I think we met up, and then we got to the gym, and we were there for 5 minutes. And somebody came over and goes, "What are you guys doing?" No, you can't do that. And they made us leave.
I want to say I do remember that because we used to go and rent the ring on days where Johnny wouldn't have his school.
That's what it was.
And then that day, Johnny actually was in, and he's like, "Oh, you cannot use the ring. But if you want to pay me the money, I will make you professional."
You want to pay $1,600 to run your show?
What do you guys? So where are you working next? What's your next show?
What is my next show? I think Friday I'm doing Blitzkrieg Pro in Connecticut, and then Saturday we have WrestlePro at Rahway, New Jersey. at the Rahway Rec Center.
Are you going to be back in Brooklyn May 6th for FSW? Or
Yes, I think I'm going to be there.
Yeah,
the Lucha Extravaganza?
Yeah, I
Do you
was
have a
told-
special mask for?
No, I do have a pink mask that I've had in my bag for the past 3 years.
Please do it.
But I actually, the last time we had a show here, I just used it so I could go outside to smoke cigarettes without being spotted.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about being the Blob. No one knows me when I walk through.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, guys. Well, I think Stat Wife, as I call her on the show, is over there waiting, getting a little cold. So thanks, guys, for the time.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, wait. We can look for you on Twitter.
Yeah, at CPA Wrestles. That's pretty much all my handles on like Instagram and stuff. So yeah, at CPA Wrestles. And I also have a Facebook page, Become a Fan thing.
All right.
I'm Revolting Blob, Facebook.com/pinchmyleg, Instagram at MaxSexPow, because I used to wrestle under Maximus Sex Power. I was the greatest hip swivel towel champion in the history of the business. And on Twitter, you can find me at Maximus Sex Power or at Revolting Blob _, because someone already had Revolting Blob.
What? And also, wait, you can catch you some of your writing, right? I'll choose.
Yeah, shoesonsports.com. It's just me writing about the Mets, because I like the Mets and I know a lot about baseball. And it's just me getting my thoughts out there. I'm not like really pushing it hard, like I'm trying to be a legit blogger or anything, but people read it and I have fun writing it. So
The Revolting Blog.
yeah, the Revolt. Oh my God!
Why didn't you call it
I call it
that?
that?
Oh, jeez.
Just as a side note, both the L Shoes and myself are wearing our commemorative
Yeah,
you guys got- I
Bartolo
wish you guys could
Colon
see this right now. It's
graduation
amazing.
pictures.
Yeah, I want to tip my 40 to at the Kurt Hawkins.
For getting us these fabulous shirts.
Kurt
man.
Hawkins hooked us up with these fabulous Bartolo Cologne shirts that are exclusive to the WrestlePro Plastics. Nobody's allowed to sit with us, and on show days we wear Bartolo.
Yes.
Are you guys all going to the Gnome game?
I have
no,
a,
he's
I have a
gotta-
show that day, unfortunately.
You gotta, come on, man. Decisions.
I'm not booked.
I am booked, so I have to go.
I'm on Dennis Stamp trampoline duty that day.
All right, guys. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed the interviews. You have anything you wanna say before we wrap up today?
No, just thank you to WrestlePro for a good show and for having us, and for the wrestlers for talking to us. For the guys we didn't get on tape, for just giving us a minute or two, and we look forward to doing it again.
All right, and just as a reminder, guys, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter at Running Wild LWOS. You can find us on Facebook at Running Wild on Wrestling. You can send us emails at runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. We are being brought to you in partnership with LastWordOnSports.com and W2M Network. You can check out Wrestling to the Max Network on Facebook. Give them a follow and listen to their podcasts. And with all of that out of the way, just want to remind you that you've been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.